All right, Shalom. I'd like to start off saying, Ka Halayim La Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem Harakak Wadash Ma'amah. Double honors to the elder apostles, a great millstone, and my elder Herawan as well. Salutations to the Akin that are pushing this truth, to sincerity and truth, and peace and blessings to the men, women, and children that believe in the name of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai. All right, I'm Chanak Sa'an Ba Yasharallah from the Lions of the Yasharallah camp, and come with a brief lesson on this article, another news and prophecy article, man. And this one is this happened right here where I live at in Jacksonville, Florida. And you already know what I want to go through when you see the title. I want to go through that perpetual hatred that Esau has towards Jacob, you know. Lord willing, this lesson to edify and to serve His purpose for the hopeful elect, the ones that truly believe in the name of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai. All right, it says 3 white men chase a black man who was later found dead with gunshot wounds next to a dumpster. Judge raises questions about hate crime charges. Didn't see any other reason for it, man. There wasn't, I don't know what happened. I don't know if it was a drug deal going bad or whatever, whatnot. But how they say it happened, they were chasing the man throughout downtown Jacksonville. And next thing they know, somebody jumped out with a gun and he was laid dead next to a dumpster. All right. Hopefully the article give details onto what happened, and after that I'm gonna get a couple scriptures just going into why things like this happened to Jake through the hands of Esau. All right. And people are quick to say like, oh, all white people don't act like this, or so-called Caucasian don't act like this. But here's the thing, a lot of people, they just stupid. But the way this system is set up and designed, this system is set up and designed to show their hatred towards us, to where they ain't got it. They can smile in our face because they know this system is going to hold us back. All right. Lord willing, this lesson to edify and serve His purpose for the hopeful elect, the ones that truly believe in the name of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai. All right, it says 3 white men were arrested in connection with a shooting death last week of a 39-year-old black man in Jacksonville, Florida. The victim's name has not yet been released, according to First Coast News. All right, Ryan Nichols, 19, 18-year-old Daniel DeGuardia, and 21-year-old Holden Dotson were arrested after the victim was found dead behind a garbage dumpster on the 500 block of Ashley Street. The man was found dead from apparent gunshot wounds at 6:45 a.m. on May 2nd, and surveillance video footage captured the men chasing the victim on foot in a vehicle. All right, the security footage later obtained by the police showed a Jeep Grand Cherokee carrying Nichols, DeGuardia, and Dotson near the 100 North Julia Street before the men got out of the vehicle approximately 2 a.m. And the funny part about that's kind of like the downtown east side area. And all right, so Slakia, like I was saying, they started gentrifying this area because at one point in time Esau couldn't walk nowhere near this area without getting mugged, robbed, shot at, or whatever. They didn't play that in that area, but now they are they're kind of remodeling the area and forcing Jacob out of there. And like 10 years ago, you would have never seen Esau running through this area chasing a Jake. Man, they'd have got messed up. It just shows you how this system is changing, how things are changing, man. All right, how Esau is like, you know, taking over everything in this area. If they see something that they want, that's what they do. They devalue an area, make it so they can get it dirt cheap, and then remodel it to fit their needs, you know. It says approximately 2:45 a.m. the footage captured of the men chasing the victim past the Jeep. The 3 men got back into the Jeep a few moments later and drove away. Subsequent footage captured the men driving down the street nearby, seemingly looking for the victim, who was seen at approximately 2:50 a.m. on Clay Street, running north from the Jeep. One of the men got out and chased the man, who was later seen trying to hide behind the garbage dumpster. The police report is deactivated and did not indicate the shooting. Dotson later reported 9mm Glock was missing. Right? So he done shot the Jake and tried to report his gun missing so it wouldn't tie back to him. Wow. It says the Jacksonville Sheriff's Office found several 9mm gun shell casings at the scene of the crime, along with a loaded extended magazine, which was found next to the victim. They also found evidence of the garbage dumpster had been hit by a vehicle. Additional video from a 7-Eleven on Julia Street, I know where that's at, caught the Jeep's license plate, which had the words 911-201 will never be forgotten, an American flag. If that ain't Esau for you. The Jeep reportedly belonged to the DeGuardia's mother. After Nichols and Dotson were identified, arrest warrants were issued and they were arrested. Nichols was charged with second-degree murder. Why is that second-degree murder? It says while DeGuardia and Dotson were charged with accessories after the fact. Nichols was also charged with altering physical evidence records. All right. So, for them to speculate a hate crime, they know exactly what it is, man. That's that perpetual hatred that Esau has always had. And it's not, and a lot of people try to say it developed because of the birthright, but they had that hatred was in the womb. They were fighting in the womb. He's always been fighting against Jacob. He was fighting to get out first because he wanted to bless him. But it was already told that the elder shall serve the younger, man. And the Most High, Yahweh Shem Yahushai, is going to hold that perpetual hatred on them all the way till the end, man. They're not going to be able to let that go. Matter of fact, the Lord's going to turn it up even more. The devil's really going to start showing his horns, especially during the time of Jacob's trouble, as we're entering into that now. All right, so I'm going to go get into a couple of scriptures going into this. All right, this is Ezekiel chapter 35, verse 1. It says, moreover, the word of the Lord came unto me, saying, Son of man, set thy face against Mount Seir and prophesy against it. Right, and that's talking about Edom, mainly talking about Esau, all right? It says, and say unto it, thus saith the Lord, Yahweh, behold, on Mount Seir I am against thee, and I will stretch out my hand against thee, and I will make thee most desolate. And that's what they've been trying to do to us by killing us all. You got the citizens killing us all, that the police killing us all, and then they got them manipulating the minds of our young people, killing us off too. So it's like all hands on deck against the children of Israel. But it was all prophesied for this to happen like this. All right. It said, I will lay thy cities waste, and thou shalt be most desolate, and thou shalt know that I am the Lord, Yahweh Shem Yahushai. Because thou hast had a perpetual hatred, and hast shed the blood of the children of Israel by force of the sword, and in the time of their calamities, in the time that their iniquity had an end, man. All right, and that's what you see happening on a daily basis, regularly scheduled. Therefore, as I live, saith the Lord, Yahweh Shem Yahushai, power, I will prepare thee unto blood, and blood shall pursue thee. Thou hast not hated blood, even blood shall pursue thee. Thus will I make Mount Seir most desolate, and I will cut off him that passeth out, and him that returneth. And I will fill his mountains with his slain men in the hills, and in the valley, and in thy rivers, and shall they fall that are slain with the sword. Right. So everything that they have done to us, the Lord is going to turn that back around on them. So the physical genocide that they've been trying to create, and the spiritual genocide that they have created, is going to be turned around and be a curse upon them, man. For everything they have done unto us, the Lord said he's going to do it to them 100-fold, man. All right. It says, I will make thee most desolate, and thy city shall not return, and thou shalt know that I am the Lord. Because thou hast said to these nations and to these countries, shall be mine, and we will possess it, whereas the Lord was there. All right? It says, therefore, as I live, saith the Lord, I will even do according to thine anger, and according to thine envy, which thou hast used out of thy hatred against them. And I will make myself known among them, and I will have judged thee. Right. So the Lord is going to make himself known among who? His elect of the children of Israel. And we're going to be judging these nations, and mainly, especially Esau, man. All right. Next scripture I want to get is Obadiah chapter 1. Verse 10, it says, for thy violence against thy brother Jacob, shame shall cover thee, and thou shalt be cut off forever. Right? Because he's had that hatred for us from the beginning, man. What did it say? It said, now the days of my father mourneth, but at the end of those days I shall slay my brother Jacob. And he's been doing it, trying to do it ever since. Really, he's been trying to do it he's done it, right? And he's been in that spirit. That same spirit that was in Cain, who slew Abel, is in this devil, man. All right? It says, for thy violence against thy brother Jacob, shame shall cover thee, and thou shalt be cut off forever. And the day that thou stoodest over on the other side, and the day that the strangers carried them away, captives, his forces and foreigners entered into his gates, and cast lots upon Jerusalem, even thou was one of them. Right? And that happened during the time of Babylon, man. When Babylon, Nebuchadnezzar and them came in. All right? When they came in, Esau helped them. But thou shouldest not have looked on the day of thy brother and the day that he became a stranger. Right? And they look upon us now, at us being strange, and they want to keep us in that state of mind. All right, it says, in the day that he became a stranger, neither should thou have rejoiced over the children of Judah in the day of destruction, neither should thou have spoken proudly in the day of distress. Thou should have not have entered into the gates of my people in the day of their calamity. Yea, thou should have not have looked on their affliction in the day of their calamity, nor have laid hands on their substance in the day of their calamities. And they've done all these things, man. And they continue to do all these things. And the Lord's going to hold them to that all the way to the end, man. All right, it says, neither should thou have stood in the crossway to cut off those of his that did escape. Neither should thou have delivered up those of his that did remain in the day of distress, man. Because this devil won't show us any mercy at all. For the day of the Lord is near upon all the heathen. Right, so this is not... It's going to be an extra cruel, harsh judgment upon Esau, but the Lord is going to judge all these nations, man. Because all these nations were in confederacy with Esau, right? In the persecution of the children of Israel. All right, it says, for the day is near upon all the heathen, as thou hast done, it shall be done unto thee. For thy reward shall return upon thine own head, man. Right? So now, that's crazy because how they be having us, in a certain sense of fear, man. And a matter of fact, let me get a scripture that talks about that. I mean, Jacob look at their own people and want to persecute their own people, but won't lift a finger up against Esau, man. Verse 16, it says, for as ye have drunk upon my holy mountain, so shall all the heathen drink continually. Yea, they shall drink and they shall swallow down, and they shall be as they have not been, man. And that's what's going to happen to these other nations. And Esau is going to be utterly destroyed. And the house of Jacob shall be a fire, and the house of Joseph a flame, and the house of Esau for stubble, man. And they shall kindle in them and devour them, all right? And there shall not be any remaining of the house of the Lord, because the Lord has the house of Esau, because the Lord has spoken it. So that kindling in them, meaning we're going to be in hot pursuit, right? After these devils, man, just like how they were in hot pursuit after that and they killed them and left them in the dumpster, that's how we're gonna be on their top, man. The Lord's gonna have us on their head, man. You know. All right. I'm gonna get one more scripture to close it out. This is Isaiah chapter 51, verse 22. It says, "Thus saith the Lord Yahweh by Hashem Yahweh Shai, the power of thy that pleadeth the cause of thy people. Behold, I have taken out of thy hand the cup of trembling, even the dregs of the cup of my fury. Thou shalt no more drink it again." Right. So we're not gonna have to deal with that slavery anymore, man. He's gonna pass it on to these other nations. He said, "But I will put it into the hands of them that afflict thee, which have said to thy soul, bow down that we may go over, and thou hast laid thy body as the ground and as the street to them that went over," man. So the Lord has an ultimate destruction on these other nations, mainly the annihilation of Esau, man. All right, so, that perpetual hatred is not going to go anywhere. As a matter of fact, it's going to crank up even more the closer and closer that we get to the end, Lord willing, this lesson is edifying to serve his purpose. With that, I'd like to say, Ka Halayim La Yahweh, Ba Hashem Yahweh Shai, Ba Hashem Harikak Wadash, Ma'amath. Double honors to the elder apostles, the great millstone, and my elder Herawan as well. Salutations to the Akim that are pushing the truth with sincerity and truth. And peace and blessing to the men, women, and children that believe in the name of Yahweh Ba Hashem Yahweh Shai. Shalom.